Once upon a time in Baghdad, a young tailor lived a good life. His shop was modest yet cozy, his craft was respected, and what he lacked in wealth, he made up for in kindness. But the tailor's biggest joy was the evenings, when he and his wife would share supper with a special guest. It was the Hunchback, an old, emaciated man with a heart of gold. Every night they would break bread together, sharing stories and laughter. One evening, the tailor and his wife prepared a feast for the three of them. On the table sat bowls of rice, roasted lamb, and fresh bread. But the most tempting dish, sitting on a platter, was fish. The fish was fried to golden perfection. Its aroma alone made the mouth water. The tailor and his wife exchanged glances. They had never treated their hunchback with such luxury, and they hoped it would bring him joy. When the hunchback entered their home, the aroma hit him first. Then he saw the platter. "Oh, my friends," he cried, "tonight I shall dine like royalty. I won't even need a crown." The hunchback washed his hands, bowed his head, and dug into the fish. First he took a large piece. The fish was moist and flavorful. The hunchback chewed with closed eyes, smacking his lips. Then, just as he swallowed, he felt something hard stuck in his throat. The hunchback choked. He gasped for air. His face turned red. Panic struck. The tailor rushed to grab water. The tailor's wife thumped the hunchback's back. But the more they tried to help, the more the hunchback struggled. Within moments, the poor man slumped over. His eyes glazed. He was dead. The tailor and his wife stood frozen in fear. "What have we done?" cried the wife. "The authorities will accuse us of murder if they find out." The tailor paced the room, his hands trembling. Think. We must hide the body before dawn." After a long pause, the wife whispered, "I know what to do. Let's take him to the house of the physician down the street. If he is found there, they will believe the doctor failed to save him." Though their hearts pounded with guilt, the tailor and his wife carried the hunchback's body through the dark alleys. Finally, they arrived at the doctor's house. The wife knocked gently on the door and left. Moments later, the physician appeared at the door. "Who is there?" he asked sleepily. "Doctor, please help," pleaded the tailor's wife. "This poor man has choked and we couldn't save him. Please hide his body for us." The doctor was a kind man. He knew the tailor and his wife. So seeing their genuine distress, he agreed to help. Together they carried the hunchback inside. Meanwhile, in a faraway land, a cunning merchant was counting his gold coins. He had just returned from a successful trading expedition, but his happiness was short-lived. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps broke the silence. The merchant peered out of his window. There in the courtyard stood 5 men. They were dragging a man between them. It was the hunchback. The merchant watched in surprise as the men dumped the hunchback against his wall and disappeared into the darkness. Frowning, the merchant opened his door and went outside. He approached the hunchback and prodded him with his foot. "Hey, old man, wake up!" But the hunchback remained motionless. The merchant's face drained of color. He had found a dead body on his doorstep. Thinking quickly, he called for his servants and ordered them to move the body into the pantry. "Lock the doors," he instructed, "and don't let anyone enter until morning." As the sun began to rise, people started arriving at the merchant's house. Some were customers eager to buy exotic spices or silks. Others were friends checking in on business deals. All were surprised to find the merchant's doors locked. Some knocked hesitantly, while others pounded demanding answers. But the merchant didn't budge. He waited anxiously for the crowd to disperse. When the coast was clear, he quietly opened the doors and slipped out of the house. Meanwhile, inside the house, a group of children were playing near the pantry. One of them, curious about the strange smell, crept closer and peeked inside. To his horror, he saw a dead man lying on the floor. The boy screamed in terror. His shout alerted the rest of the children. Together, they decided to investigate. Just then, a guard walked past the house. Hearing the commotion, he stopped and asked, "What happened?" One of the children pointed inside. "There's a dead man in there, officer." The guard immediately arrested the child. He stormed inside, but the body was gone. Furious, he dragged the child outside and shouted, "Where did you say the dead man was?" The boy insisted. "He was right there, officer, I swear it." The guard searched everywhere, but the pantry seemed empty. Just as he was about to leave, he noticed a small hole under the door. Pushing aside some cloth, he saw a pair of feet. Excited, he pulled the body out. It was the Hunchback. News of the discovery spread quickly throughout the city. Soon the merchant was summoned to the palace along with 2 others, a servant and a guard. Before the Sultan, each man defended himself. The merchant claimed he had simply found the body on his doorstep and had intended to report it. The servant swore he had only moved the body as ordered, and the guard insisted he had discovered the Hunchback's body hidden in the pantry. The Sultan listened patiently, but he sensed that something wasn't right. Why had the merchant locked his doors? Why had the servant hidden the body? And why had the guard arrested a child without finding the body? Suspicious, the Sultan decided to investigate further. That evening, the Sultan visited the tailor's house. The tailor and his wife were shocked to see the majestic ruler standing in their doorway. "I need your help," he explained. "There has been a death and I seek the truth. Do you know how the Hunchback died?" The tailor and his wife exchanged nervous glances. They recounted how the Hunchback had choked on a fishbone and died. The Sultan nodded, understanding. "Thank you." He turned to leave, but the tailor stopped him. "My lord, before you go, I must tell you that we passed the body to the physician after the Hunchback died. He too knows what happened." The Sultan smiled knowingly. He thanked the tailor and his wife and headed toward the physician's house. As expected, the physician confirmed the tailor's story. Satisfied, the Sultan continued his investigation, visiting the homes of the Christian broker and the steward. Each person corroborated the previous story, confirming that the Hunchback had died accidentally. Now, the Sultan went to the merchant's house. Once again, he heard the same tale. The merchant had found the body, but he had not killed the Hunchback. Relieved to have pieced together the events, the Sultan summoned everyone to the palace. Standing before the Sultan were the tailor, his wife, the physician, the Christian broker, the steward, the merchant and his servant, and the guard who had arrested the child. Fearful, they awaited the Sultan's judgment. Who among them would be blamed for the death? Which family would suffer the consequences? Then, quite unexpectedly, the Sultan rose from his throne. "I have uncovered the truth," he announced. "The Hunchback's death was an accident. No man here is guilty." Relief swept over the crowd. The tailor, his wife, the physician, the Christian broker, the steward, the merchant and his servant fell to their knees in gratitude. But then, amid the commotion, a familiar voice rang out. "Did someone say the Hunchback is dead?" The crowd turned to see the Hunchback shuffling toward them, and as he drew closer, they realized that he wasn't just shuffling, he was dancing. "Ha, ha, tricked you all," he cackled, his eyes twinkling. "I pretended to choke and die so I could play a trick on you. And what a trick it was." The Hunchback laughed heartily, enjoying the surprised expressions on their faces. And so the tale of the Hunchback who faked his death for a laugh became a legend in Baghdad, reminding everyone that sometimes life's greatest tragedies can turn out to be comedies, and that truth, like fate, has a funny way of arriving at the perfect time. Moral: sometimes life's darkest moments are but shadows of comedy. Fate may seem cruel, but truth arrives at last, often with a smile.